But if he is to die, then let him die.
Goes back around.
And
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and this is my final feature-length movie reaction of the year. I will have a silent film reaction on the 24th, Christmas Eve. This is the final one of the year. If you haven't heard, I did say that I'm taking a break for the last week of December into the first week of June. So I'll probably be back the first Friday in, sorry, not June, January. I'll be back the first Friday in January. I just want to take a little break, relax over Christmas. Yeah, just kind of recharge the batteries, But the film I'm watching tonight is A Christmas Carol from 1984 with George C. Scott as Ebenezer Scrooge. This is actually my favourite Christmas story. I've seen numerous adaptations before, so I was trying to look for adaptations that I hadn't seen before. I've actually, earlier in the month, I watched silent version from 1910, which was a lot of fun to check out. But I've heard really good things about this one. I know I think it's David Warner is in this film as well. He plays Bob Cratchit, and I believe Edward Woodward is in this. He plays one of the spirits. I think I'm not sure which one, but I've heard he plays one of the spirits from who I know from The Wicker Man. So yeah, some interesting actors that I'm familiar with in this one. It's actually funny as well because this is my favorite Christmas story. It's kind of fitting that I'm watching it. Well, the reaction will go up on the channel on my birthday, which is the 22nd. So it's kind of fitting that I'm watching that. My reaction to an adaptation of my favorite Christmas story goes up on my birthday. It sounded more interesting in my head, but when I said it out like that, I don't know. It didn't seem necessary. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the reaction, like and a comment would be fantastic. There'll be an uncut reaction to this film as well, which will be my Patreon page. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. And just a big thank you to all of you for the support over the year, really. Continued. I think going into this time last year, I think I was at like just over 100 subscribers, and now I'm well over 1,000. So again, it's great. I know, like, compared to some other channels, it's quite minuscule, but for me, it's a lot. That's quite a bit, like, so I appreciate the support. And also to my patrons as well, to Ravi, to JM63, to Mary, to Blaze, to Jenny, to Jared, and to Gigi Gooding. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. But with that said, let's watch A Christmas Carol. To me, there's no other story for me that kind of encapsulates or gets me in the mood for Christmas than this one. I'm not sure, is this a British or an American production? Just recommending a version for you if you haven't seen it. There's a version from 1999 with Patrick Stewart as Scrooge. Highly recommend. It's really good. Richard E. Grant plays Cratchit in that one.
Mr. Marley died 7 years ago this very day.
Would it be too much to ask that you return to the work for which I pay you? Mr. Cratchit!
Here we go.
The fire's gone cold, Mr. Scrooge.
What is this?
A shirt. A waistcoat.
And this?
A coat.
Mr. Cratchit, garments were invented by the human race's protection against the cold. Once purchased, they may be used indefinitely. Now, please get back to work before I am forced to conclude that your services are no longer required.
Jeez. Already just see how stern and, yeah, as you always see, like, they're just so, just will not take anything.
I said, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
He heard it, but he just can't believe it.
What's Christmas but a time for buying things for which you have no need, no money? A year older, not an hour richer. If every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding, buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Come now, Uncle.
Nephew.
He seems so taken aback by his hatred of it.
Kindly, forgiving, charitable time. A time when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts. I do believe that it has done me good. And I say,
God
bless it.
a sound from you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation.
Come, dine with us, Dora.
Dine? I'd see myself in hell for it.
It will. And she loves me.
Love. Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
You are wasting my time.
You wonder why he's so patient with him.
My good humor. And I wish you a Merry Christmas.
As in, like, Fred being patient with
How's
Ebenezer.
that fine family of yours, Bob Cratchit? Good, you'll give them my best wishes.
Yes, sir, I shall. Thank you for remembering them.
Goodbye, Cratchit.
Goodbye, sir.
The
And a
difference.
Merry Christmas.
I'm off to the exchange. Don't lock up a moment early.
No, sir.
You want the whole day off tomorrow, I suppose?
Want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. Be here all the earlier the next morning, Cratchit.
Yes, sir, I shall. I certainly shall.
Make sure.
Yes, sir.
Don't beg on this corner, boy.
I'm not begging, sir. I'm Tim Cratchit.
Oh.
I'm waiting for my father.
Well, then you'll have a long wait, won't you?
Thank you, sir.
Humbug.
I've never ever seen that. Tim, that soon in the story. Even the way he speaks, it's like just engulfing everyone around him to do what he wants them to do, almost.
Us with means should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly.
Smile just went instantly.
Plenty of prisons.
The workhouses, they still in operation?
They are. I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill, the poorhouses, still...
And food and warmth.
What can we put you down for, sir?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. If they would rather die, perhaps they had better do so. And decrease the surplus population.
He's gone bad, but like when you hear him say that, that's just... It's horrendous, really. That's how little regard he has for them. What is... Like, why would they let Tiny Tim stay out that long out?
Tim, you must be frozen.
I'm all right now.
Tim, I'm to have the whole day off tomorrow. We'll be together, the whole family, for the entire day.
Oh,
Playing with the other children.
I'm quite sure I will. I feel I'm getting stronger every day.
It's a great spirit you have to say that for Tim.
We must go home now.
Yeah, it's definitely something I want to do in the future, is perform in a stage production of a Christmas Carol. Ooh, what is that? I've never remembered that happening earlier. Maybe that's from the book.
Call my name.
You would just pass it off and think, oh, I just saw something. And you walk into this creepy house you live in, you know. Suddenly you realise your home is really not too homely. Wonder does he always lock those doors when he goes up to his bedroom at night? Now I would be thinking, okay, something's amiss here. That for me is absolutely terrifying. It's something that's coming. It's also the idea of what is on the way to coming. That's the scariest part. Even his eye acting is fantastic there.
Humbug, sir. What do you want with me?
Oh God.
Much. Life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
You don't believe in me.
I don't. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you, humbug.
You believe in me or not?
I do, I must. Why do spirits walk the earth?
Do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world and witness what it cannot share and turn to happiness.
Pain and the frustration in there.
I wear the chain I forged in life. Nay, it is too late.
But for yourself.
But I have come. I have been sent to warn you.
And so you have.
And to offer you a hope and chance of escaping my fate. Will be haunted by 3 spirits.
3 spirits? Couldn't they all come at the same time, Jacob, and have it over?
Expect the second on the stroke of 2. Look, that you may remember what has passed between us.
Like any little semblance of freedom he had for like a moment, the chat is just gone now. You wonder, it's kind of funny, like, it could very well have been the other way around. Like, if Scrooge had died first, he could have been the one coming to Marley to warn him. He's just fortunate, really, that Marley was the one that died first, probably, you know? He said it was something he ate, but he still sits up.
You the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
I'm curious, in the book, is the spirit of Christmas past, is it a female or male figure? Because between different adaptations, sometimes it's female, other times it's a male. Just curious. Imagine like going back and seeing friends as children, and then obviously yourself. Like, what kind of a response would that create inside you?
Yes, well, it's time to move on.
There's a boy in there, neglected.
The boy
Imagine
is
staying
deserted
there for Christmas
by
Day.
his friends and his family.
Sultan's groom turned upside down with a genie.
But not a real child to talk to. Not a living person.
Dear, dear brother. I've come to bring you home, dear brother. To bring you home. Father's much kinder than he used to be. He spoke to me so gently one dear night that I was not afraid to ask one.
You're quite a woman, little fan.
And
Oh,
you.
he tells him how much time has passed that he's lost. Oh, we've seen his father. Wow.
Father!
Stand still now.
Jeez.
Let me look at you. They haven't been overfeeding you, that's certain. It's time you made your way in the world. I've arranged an apprenticeship for you. You'll move into Mr. Fezziwig's establishment in 3 days' time.
I'd hoped we'd have my brother home for longer.
Longer? 3 days is quite long enough for both of us.
Yes,
Completely changes
quite long enough.
how I would interpret his father changing.
Finished back there?
I'd say it's more just of a pride thing, like, oh, my son works here now, rather than actual genuine love for him. You can see right where he's like looking at Scrooge in the mirror. You see the father is so much like Scrooge is there now, so he's not even looking at him. Left at that school for many years, like, that must have done some damage, irreparable damage to him. That made Fezziwig's warehouse.
Pay attention, everybody. Ebenezer, pens down. No more work tonight, boys. It is Christmas Eve.
I've forgotten how beautiful she was.
Would you like to dance?
Yes.
She didn't need to be asked twice. Reminds me of Pride and Prejudice.
Old Fezziwig. A silly man.
Well, are you in love, Ebenezer?
The thought had occurred to me.
She's too good for you.
One day, when I've made my fortune.
Unfortunately, when you make your made your fortune, Ebenezer.
But you did forget.
Yeah.
Often.
Sorry I'm late.
I thought you might not come. I know how busy you are. All your hopes have merged into a master passion. Profit. Would you seek me out and try to win me now? A dowerless girl with nothing but myself to bring to a marriage.
The fact that he's silent says so much.
Ebenezer, I release you. You are a free man.
From then on, that path was set for him where he was going.
Almost went after.
Almost carries no weight, especially in matters of the heart.
And those are her children.
Oh, darling, he's wonderful.
Again, this is something I never seen in any of the adaptations.
Me?
I saw an old friend of yours in the city this afternoon.
Who was it?
Guess.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge it was. I passed his office window and it was not shuttered.
Poor wretched man.
Spare me your pity. I have no need of it.
He still doubts it. Still thinks it's an underdone potato maybe that's causing these hallucinations.
Intend to.
Come in and know me better, man.
Do you have many brothers, Spirit?
Over 1,800!
What day is it now?
Don't you know? Christmas morning.
There's a lot of buying, isn't there?
Oh,
Wetting his
Ebenezer,
appetite
is that
over
all
it.
you can see? Follow me. This is the house of Bob Cratchit.
Is he? Well, he does very well on 15 bob a week. Merry Christmas, everyone!
You're late, Bob Cratchit. Oh, and you're quite like an...
Father had a long talk with the minister. Thought as much. Come, Tim, listen to the pudding hissing on the fire.
How did you behave in church?
As good as gold.
So David Warner was originally supposed slotted to play Freddy Krueger. I think it was a scheduling conflicts why he didn't play him. He would have been an interesting Freddy Krueger.
Thinks the stranger's growing, that he's in better spirits, it seems to me.
Yes, Bob. I'm sure you're right. He is getting stronger.
She's just humouring him.
Peter, I have some good news for you. I met by chance Fred Hollywell by name. He's a nephew of our own Mr. Scrooge. But I have a son coming of working age, and he told me that he had a position open starting at 3 shillings and 6pence every week.
Already? What age is he? 11?
So, if you are agreeable, you may start work on Monday next.
Start a boy at 3 and 6pence a week. Hey, it's typical of my nephew.
And another element that I'd never witnessed before, Bob's son Peter getting a job working under Fred.
Share with each other and with you the fullness of our hearts on this special day. Amen.
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 What? You say something?
A very small goose.
It's all Bob Cratchit can afford.
And God bless us, everyone.
Seeing this is the first chink in the armour, I think, for Ebenezer.
Will he live?
See a vacant place at this table. I see a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my species will find him here. But if he is to die, then let him die.
Goes back around.
And decrease the surplus population.
You use my own words against me.
So perhaps in the future you will hold your tongue until you have discovered what the surplus population is. It may well be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions.
Propose a toast to Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge, the founder of our feast. Mr. Scrooge.
The founder of our feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. Piece of my mind to feast upon. And hope he had a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, it's Christmas Day.
He's made a point, Bob Cratchit has. Without me, there would be no feast, no goose at all.
Oh, God.
Mood to be amused.
He's still very stern, like, I thought he, loosened up a bit, but still...
I was thinking of his face yesterday. Humbug, he said. Humbug. He said that Christmas was a humbug.
I have no patience with him.
Well, I have, and I feel sorry for him.
Sorry for me.
Is that my mother, God rest her saintly soul, was very fond of him.
Fan loved me, and I her. Dear Fan. I wish she were alive today.
Fred looks very like her.
Yes,
He's the link to her.
Hush there! We shall have a game, a word game.
Yes, a game.
What should it be?
Jamie.
Proud as.
Proud as a peacock.
Dry as a bone. Good. Tight as.
Not very bright, my nephew's wife.
Tight as your Uncle Scrooge's purse strings.
Good for you, Fred. The boy's got a head on his shoulders. And as for the laughter at my expense, Spirit, I'm inclined to overlook it in view of...
Bar like the news about Tiny Tim, more than likely not being alive, that affected him, but nothing else, really.
Work. I want to work. I want to have bread for my children. It's not right that there's no work.
Beneath my robe.
What are they?
They are your children. Are the children of all who walk the earth unseeing. Their names are ignorance and want. They spell the downfall of you and all who deny their existence. Are there no prisons?
Using his words against him again. Only for so long can your chains be hidden, Ebenezer. This is definitely the darkest version I've seen of this Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Are you the spirit which Jacob Marley foretold would visit me?
The music. It's so harsh, but it fits like.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What happened to his money?
Left it to his company, perhaps? After all, we did considerable business together.
Well, I must go and find the price of corn. Goodbye.
How was I privy to that conversation? What purpose could it have for me? No, I will not. This you cannot make me do. There must be someone in this city who feels some emotion because of this man's death. I demand to see that person.
Every person.
She was in the 90s version of Patrick Stewart. Pretty sure.
My motto.
Sorry, he never had someone to look after
Yeah, it
him
is.
when he was struck with death.
This is the most despicable part of the story to me. It's just horrendously horrible.
Well, what's your offer then?
Those are not my things. Yes, they are similar, but...
In denial.
She speaks of that...
£1 5 3. Not a penny more if I was to be boiled for it.
Has to see some emotion in connection with this man's death. You show me only greed and avarice. Let me see some tenderness, some depth of feeling.
This work makes my eyes red. And I wouldn't show red eyes to your father, Nick. Not for the world. It must be nearly his time.
I think he walks slower than he used to these last few evenings, Mother.
Walk home with
Tim.
With Tiny Tim on his shoulders, very fast indeed.
The reason that I'm late is because I walked by there today. My little child.
It's tough showing that emotion in front of the other children as well.
Brother. Tim is part of all of us. And for his sake, we must go on living. So long as we love one another.
It's like what she said exactly. There's Tim is in all of them, and it's the same for Ebenezer with Fred. Fran is in Fred.
Although he was but a little child, I'm sure that we will not easily quarrel among ourselves.
I am a happy man. I am a truly happy man.
I asked for tenderness and depth of feeling. And you've shown me that.
That kind of hit it for him.
Take me home.
I thought we had agreed that you would transport me home. Are the things you have shown me the shadows of the things that will be? Are they the shadows of the things that may be only? Hear me, I am not the man I was. Your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Say that I may change these things by an altered life. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach.
It's a powerful performance. A very powerful performance.
Spare me. My own room. I'm alive. Thank you, Spirit. I will keep my promise.
And a thank you to Jacob.
I will live in the past, present, and the future. Say this on my knees, Jacob Marley. On my knees.
I was actually thinking he must be exhausted. Maybe he probably went back to sleep for a while.
What day?
Ah, my fine fellow. What's today?
You there, boy?
Me, sir?
Yes, you, my good fellow. What day is today?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day, of course.
The spirits did it all in one night. Well, they can do anything they like. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow. Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one? On the corner?
I should hope I did.
Intelligent boy. Do you know if they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging there?
What? The one as big as me? It's hanging there now.
Well, go and buy it. Yes, go and buy it and bring them round so that I may tell them where to deliver it. Come back with the man, I'll give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes, I'll give you half a crown. I'm as happy as an angel.
It's amazing this childlike innocence, that Christmas excitement.
I'm as giddy as a drunken man.
If
Turkey.
this be a prank, boy, I'll box your ears.
Here's your half crown for a service well rendered.
Thank you, sir.
Splendid boy. Now, there is an address. You'll take this fine bird to Bob Cratchit in Camden Town. The directions are all written down. You leave immediately this very moment. Yes, but it comes from a friend. And it must be there in time for Christmas dinner.
It masterfully captures that, just that unique feeling on Christmas morning.
Accept my pledge to the poor and needy for...
My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you quite serious?
And not a farthing less. There are a great many back payments included in that, I assure you.
What can I say to such generosity?
Yes? Bob Cratchit?
Yes?
This is for you.
Well, there must be some mistake.
You what? Well, there ain't no mistake.
I didn't order this.
This here prize turkey was bought and paid for by a gentleman.
And an anonymous gentleman.
Gargantuan sizes.
I have no idea.
Perhaps it's a mistake.
That's what I thought.
What should we do then?
I say we cook it and eat it
Mm.
and have the best Christmas feast we've ever had in our lives.
Now, the small matter of visiting your nephew, Ebenezer.
My God. It's Uncle Ebenezer.
Your uncle?
Uncle Ebenezer.
May I come in?
Yes, come in. Please.
Not only the fact that he's there at the door, the soft-spoken nature of him there.
Good afternoon, madam.
smiling.
Merry Christmas to you.
So
Oh,
suspicious.
Clemenza, this is my wife, Janet. When we spoke yesterday, you made it quite clear, it seemed to me, at least, that you had no intention of accepting my annual invitation.
I made other things clear, too. That was a humbug, Fred. I was in love once. Would you believe that?
Yes.
Possessed neither the courage nor the optimism, perhaps the depth of feeling that you two have. If the invitation to dine with you today is still in force, I accept.
Of course it's still in force.
And see, for Fred as well,
You and your friends.
You'll be more
Ebenezer is the link to his mother, you know?
Like games, don't you?
Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Do you ever play similes? And should the phrase tight as be thrown out, the answer is a drum.
Yes, so is it.
That's a nice callback.
I see the shadow of my sister in your face. I loved your mother, Fred. Well, now, if it isn't too much trouble, I should like to sample some of that punch for which you're so famous.
Of course.
God forgive me for the time I've wasted.
In life, it's true as well. You know, time you've wasted. Something you should try and avoid.
9 o'clock late again, eh, Cratchit? We'll see about this. Mr. Cratchit!
It's like back to reality after a great day yesterday.
Do you know what time it is?
God, he looks like a spirit there with the...
What time is it?
18 minutes past the hour, sir.
18 and a half minutes past the hour. I'm not going to stand for this any longer. Therefore, I am going to double your salary.
Double my salary, says Bob.
Like, seeing him laugh just seems so off, you know?
And I'll endeavor to assist your family in any way I can. And Tim will walk again and grow stronger and stronger. What's the matter with you?
Just need to process what happened to my boss.
My good fellow, make up the fire before we freeze to death. Buy some more coal.
Such a great ending to the story.
Ebenezer Scrooge was better than his word. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father, knew how to keep Christmas well. If any man alive possessed the knowledge, may that be truly said of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, every one.
Right, so I just got done watching the 1984 adaptation of A Christmas Carol, and yeah, again, really, really enjoyed it. George C. Scott was fantastic in this film, and I alluded to it during the reaction. Within 5 minutes of seeing him on the screen, I couldn't envision where I knew the character would be at the end of the story because of how convincing he was, and how just unagreeable he was at the beginning, which is a testament to his performance. He was so within himself and just would hate for Christmas, but also when he would talk to someone, it was like the sound of his voice would just suffocate everyone, or just almost like some kind of like fluid just going over everyone and just like completely covering them. Like it just Scrooge would just emanate and take over everyone in his sight with his views and what he believes, you know, and just rejecting what anyone would say in a good way or positive way about Christmas. The other thing I really liked about this was there was a couple of moments finding out stuff or encountering stuff in the story that I'd never seen before, like Tiny Tim meeting Ebenezer at the beginning when he leaves the workplace. Like I never knew. I thought the first time he saw Tiny Tim was when the Ghost of Christmas Present brings him to Cratchit's house on Christmas morning. I had no idea that they had crossed paths before that. His father, the fact that his father essentially didn't really want him back out of love, it was more out of like, you know, he's at an age now where he has to have a job. So that was kind of heartbreaking in a lot of ways, because I always thought his father kind of eventually came to his senses after a few years, but that wasn't the case at all. one or two other moments. I'm trying to remember them now. But yeah, I liked that. It kind of brought a freshness to it. Because obviously I said I'd seen versions of this before. It's my favourite Christmas story. But that made it fresh. The fact that I was encountering certain things I wasn't aware of. And again, it took him a while to really kind of change, for the spirits to have an effect on him. There was fear there, of course, but for him to actually change, like seeing Tim and finding out that he was going to die, that was a little bit. But it wasn't until the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come arrives that it really started to change for him. And when he sees Bob Cratchit grieving over his son, that is the real moment where it really hits him, you know. And obviously didn't learn that he has died as well. Obviously it was a big moment too, but that moment in particular was huge. And like as Mrs. Cratchit mentions, she says, "Oh, like, you know, we are all a part of Tim, basically." And I think he probably, again, he didn't utter it, but I would say part of him realized that, like, Fred, you know, there's a part of Fran in Fred, you know, and just kind of that link there. But guys, let me know your thoughts on 1984 Christmas Carol. Where does this rank among your favorite Christmas films, and of course among your favorite adaptations of A Christmas Carol? Would love to hear your thoughts on it. And I will just say it one more time, if any of you haven't seen the 1999 version with Patrick Stewart, I would highly recommend it if you want to check that out for Christmas. Again, I'm that kind of person. I think that Christmas movies and Christmas music are all part of the lead up to Christmas Day. That's the best time to watch them, for me anyway. I like watching Christmas Eve or just the week leading up, or even like earlier in the month, but all part of the preparation to build up to Christmas. That's what they're great to watch. But guys, this is the last, as I said, I have one film left on Christmas Eve, a short one, The Night Before Christmas, a silent movie. But this is the last feature-length film I'll be reacting to for the year. So I'm just going to say a big thank you for all the support, for the continued support. The channel has grown quite a bit again. Just really from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support. It's great. You know, I love movies, and being able to do this, you know, it's a lot of fun. Really enjoyed, and discovering great films has been great. Yeah. So I just want to wish you all a happy Christmas. Hope you have a great time over the holidays and a great new year, prosperous new year. And again, just a little reminder, I will have a Q&A video on the 27th. So again, if you want to get some questions in, I have a small video put up about a week ago. You can check that out. Put some questions in the comments there if you want to ask me something, and it was a community post too. So yeah, if you want to check that out. But again, guys, thanks so much for the support, and happy Christmas and happy New Year. Until then, slán go fóill.